what if your mate has a habit, a proclivity, something that get under your skin? What should you do? What should you do as the other mate? How do you handle that? Like anything, we believe that communication is the key. Communicating it. But what if it's something that you feel like that would make hurt your partner's feelings, or that may cause your partner to draw back or change something? Especially if you got a partner that's got low self-esteem.
Okay.
Well, what do you do? How do you handle if I have a proclivity or a habit that gets under your skin? What do you do as a couple? And at what point does this habit, proclivity, or propensity, or this thing, at what point does it begin to cause a rift in the relationship? And what should you do if it begins to cause a rift in the relationship? So that's what we're going to talk about. All things in marriage and a relationship is not perfect, it's not good. There's no perfect couple.
Right.
But you allow social media, you look at TV, and it appears that, they happy-go-lucky and the grass look greener on the other side and all that kind of stuff. So what do you do and how do you handle it? What are some things that we do as a couple that when there's something you do or something you say or a habit you have that gets under your skin? Because a lot of couples are afraid to address this, and we think that to not address it is going to go away. So what do you have to say about that?
Are we naming specific?
No, but it could be something that, gets under the skin, or proclivity.
I think it's definitely a pride thing involved.
No, this is Jesus saying it. Go ahead.
I think it's a pride thing that's involved when we're talking about things that get under our spouse's skin. Because if you are frustrated or if it's a pet peeve of yours and you mention it to them, 9 times out of 10, depending on how you mention it, they may get upset.
Right.
And then they may turn things back around on you. So then you end up just not mentioning it, and most couples just deal with it. Now, I mean, I just kind of take the back road, and I end up dealing with it.
Okay.
I deal with it because, like, since he brought it up, I have mentioned things to my spouse. I won't call any I won't mention any specific things, but I have mentioned some things that just kind of, it's a pet peeve of mine. And whenever in the past that I have mentioned it to
me,
to you,
yes,
I think that you do get upset about it, and the next thing I know, things have turned around on me, and then it's about, what about you? What about you doing this? What about you? So I think men can't handle.
Okay.
Tonight it's gonna be men versus women. It's gonna be the man versus the woman versus the man.
Men can't handle
the wife versus the husband, because I think a lot of times men cannot, the spouse cannot handle what you're saying, what you're trying to correct, or what you're mentioning to them, and so we end up either nagging you all because you don't like, women to nag, because it becomes nagging when you have to mention it.
Keep bringing it
when
up
you have to keep bringing it up over and over and over again. But we bring it up over and over again because it hasn't been corrected or it hasn't been done. So we repeat ourselves, hoping that it will get better, and when it doesn't, we end up throwing in the towel as far as just letting it go and ignoring it and dealing with it, or we just keep nagging, which could turn into something bigger, because when you end up having an argument, then you always bring up the pet peeve. Have you ever noticed, like, when people bring up arguments, then they bring up little things,
because
like,
now it becomes competition,
right? Well, I was thinking, like, it becomes something major in an argument when it really should have been dealt with when it was something minor.
Right.
They bring it up later on because they never dealt with it they never addressed it or dealt with it early on.
So you mentioned, you first off started mentioning about pride.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say pride, is pride on whose part? The person that's bringing up the complaint, or the person that's the recipient of the complaint?
The recipient of the
Okay.
complaint. No one likes to be told that they're doing something that's bugging you.
Yeah.
No one likes to be called out.
Mm-hmm.
No one likes to. And then furthermore, the person that calls them out, they don't really know how to communicate it in the right manner.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can say it all different types of ways, but the recipient, sometimes no matter how they, say it, it's still not going to be received. So it kind of goes both ways.
So I think in that there's some things we can learn in that.
Okay.
Because if number one, what is the topic?
Mm-hmm.
Is it something that the person is already self-conscious about?
Mm-hmm.
And do that spouse already know their mate well enough to know that it's something they're self-conscious about? Is it something that they've heard even before you met them? Mm-hmm. Is it resolvable? Is it solvable? And then the timing. I think a lot of times with men, it's the timing, because sometimes we think we compartmentalize stuff. Mm-hmm. Y'all are multitaskers. And sometimes y'all have women tend to have a lot of things going on at one time, and as it come up in y'all file, y'all say it or y'all want to talk about it. Where men, we compartmentalize things. Mm-hmm. Where y'all got the smorgasbord and we got the different files. So it can be timing. It can be at what point. I think good wisdom in that is that, number one, you got to know your spouse. Number two, you got to have some good communication tactics. And also, you got to understand, okay, if this is something that's reoccurring, then is it solvable? Do the spouse know how to solve it? And what solutions? Because just like on your job or anywhere else, y'all ever heard that when you come with a problem, bring a solution? Mm-hmm. And so it could be pride because of no one, like you said, no one ever wants to be told that something is wrong, especially when it comes down to relationships. Because, hey, Brewster, thank you for joining us. Hey, tag on.
Hey.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Sometimes, is it controllable? And I give you an example. If somebody has a body odor, let's just give that example. Mm-hmm. I ain't saying you do. I ain't saying that. If somebody has a body odor, is it something medically going on? Instead of bringing up, being a tank or a grenade launcher. Thank you for sharing it. Is it something they have control of? Is it something they're self-conscious about? How do you bring it up to them? Because there's certain things about that person that it may come from a much deeper place than that spouse realizes.
Well, I would hope that your spouse doesn't have a body odor.
Well, some people do got a body odor now.
I would hope that they know how to. Well, I would hope.
See, here we go.
I would hope that something.
And that's just an example.
Yeah, right. I would hope that some things, are to the point, like your marriage or relationship is to the point where some things you can mention to your spouse without them getting upset. Now, if I have a body odor, or if you have a body odor, just maybe mention, hey, let's go take a shower together, or but shouldn't I be able to tell you that? So I don't know. I mean, if we've been married for 28 years and all of a sudden you get a body odor, I think I'm gonna be able to tell you, but he's not gonna like it,
Yeah. So what is the personality of that spouse? What I'm saying, and is it something that they can control? Because not everyone. So let's take it for this route. Now, everybody grew up in a household where things was transparent and open. Just throw it out there. Some people ended up in passive households, and we can add: is this spouse using this as a control method for the other spouse? Because that happens. People want to be in control, so they bring up certain things in order to control the other spouse. Oh, that's a good one.
Fear of not knowing what the spouse is gonna say,
or how the spouse is going to react.
Communication is key.
It is key.
Like, I need to be able to tell you, and you should be able to tell me. Now, I'm very conscious of myself, and even if I'm not, I ask my spouse, hey, how do I look? How do I smell? Everything, but
not all spouses are like that.
I know that's yeah.
So how do we help that couple? Because some individuals, watch this, some individuals married, there's a problem before they got married, but they do what? They put it, like you said, they put it to the side, they cancel it out and say, you know what? Love will conquer this. But when they get into marriage, okay, fear additional repercussions.
You right about that.
Y'all, let me tell you something.
You right about that, because the pride thing get
in the marriage. Okay, fear additional repercussions.
You right about that.
Y'all, let me tell you something.
You right about that, because the pride thing get in the way, and they don't want to hear it.
Y'all, I'm going to tell y'all this. There is a book called Dealing with People That You Can't Stand. All right. And it mentions several people. It's called one characteristic is the tank. Then you got the sniper. And it uses examples of modern day things. So the tank is the individual that's just like a tank that's coming in bulldozing. Mm-hmm. The sniper is an individual that shoots from afar, really got other intentions. Then you got the know-it-all. Then you got the thinking know-it-all. So that's a good book that I use in terms of supervision.
That's a lot. I just feel that's why it's important to do something.
That I use. Sniper is an individual that shoots from afar, really got other intentions. Then you got the know-it-all. Then you got the thinking know-it-all. So that's a good book that I use in terms of supervision.
That's a lot. I just feel that's why it's important to do some premarital counseling. That's why it's important to talk to talk quarterly, monthly.
Yeah.
Your spouse, you and your spouse, you're gonna go through transitions throughout your marriage. It's not gonna be the same, but you got to be able to tell your spouse if okay, let's go and change it. It's not gonna change.
So then,
you know it all.
So there's something also you brought up. So some of our personalities, and this is when it comes down to knowing the personality of your spouse. For example, if one spouse is more tolerable than the other.
Is it to tell them they don't smell?
Bruce is saying, listen, are y'all offering counseling?
Is it a smelling counsel session? A smelling consultation?
Yeah, you know what, Brewster, we haven't started it, but we're working on some things. Maybe I know you can help us with that. Maybe you can help us with how to what platform to use, and so we want to start doing that. We want to start doing some counseling and coaching.
Yeah, well, we have our coaching professional Christian lifestyle coaching certificate already, so we got some things in the works. Tell me about.
You know she coaches. So tell the people how to book us. Hey y'all, listen. I tell you what, if you see this live or if you see it on the replay, then send us a message. Send us something by messenger and say, hey, listen, we would like to, me and my partner or my individual would like to be coached on a certain area, and then we'll go from there. Brewster, thank you.
And you can also, I also have my website up and running called CathyNoblesMinistries.org, and I have a Facebook page called CN Ministries that I have all of the information on there. I have the website, and I also have the phone number that they can contact, and I have an email already on that website called CN Ministries, or they can go to Kathy Nobles ministries.org. I have those flyers with the phone, the contact information, and the email on it as well.
Yeah. Thank you for that commercial break.